neutral in general. I feel like even with the aerials, I'm really bad at picking like opportunities to go in, because I noticed a lot I would use them and then still get hit because it was still unsafe.
Right, okay, sorry. So you mean when you're trying to use an arrow, you're getting hit before the arrow?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I had to turn mine down too.
Bloom, stop messaging me. I'm trying to get to my audio mixer and like can't when stop messaging me. Down, sorry.
Yeah, it's
Right, okay. So you're sort of struggling with having you're basically struggling with having people hit you on startup, which is relatively normal. And so are you just looking for advice on how to deal with that, or?
yeah, because I noticed a lot. With neutral, I'd either place like scared and be defensive, which gets punished, or then I'd try to be too like predictably aggressive and get punished for that too.
Okay. All right, no worries. So what you generally want to do in situations like that is what generally works best, especially as a sword player. You're not actively aiming to hit where the opponent is going to be, especially if they're a more aggro character. So let's, for the sake of an easy example, let's use a character like Fox or like a Spacey who's like wants to be as close as possible to you, has a good airspeed or like generally good speed, and you want to try and keep them away, right?
Yeah.
You don't necessarily want to hit where they are right now. In when you're using moves, you want to kind of put your moves out in a place where it's like, I'm close enough that you think you can hit me, but far enough away that if I think you're going to approach, I can back away and basically whiff punish you. A lot of what you want to do with this sword player with sword is to use your excess range to kind of keep them out.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I do this a little bit too much. I end up mashing buttons out in the middle of nowhere sometimes, and it's like, who's that hitting? Like,
yeah, I get you there.
but this is why a move like Corrin's back air is so good. Because what it does, in fact, let me just share my screen with you real quick. You'll be able to see that.
Yeah, I see it.
Awesome. So, what this allows you to do is it allows you to kind of place moves outside of their range. So if I can, I don't want to go Fox. I want to go Corrin, and I want them to go.
That's a phrase I've never said before.
Yeah. So obviously I've got the hitbox viewer on, so it's a bit different. But the reason why Corrin's back here is so good is you can basically put the hitbox out, and it automatically keeps you safe.
Yeah.
Like, you already know that.
Yeah.
But you want to do the same thing with the other moves as well. Basically, the idea is that you're putting the hitbox there, and then what's happening when it's there is you're basically going, okay, if you try and attack me after this happens, you're not going to be able to.
Yeah.
So you'll see me do it all the time, where like I'll like whiff I'll whiff like a neutral air, and I'll dash away. And what I'm doing when I do that, I'm not just dashing for the sake of it. I'm like going whiff nair dash. I'm basically trying to see if they've tried to attack me first.
Yeah.
So it's like you're fishing basically. It's literally what it's called. You're fishing to see if they're going to bite for it. And this is why Corrin's quite good at this, because they've got really good burst punish tools. Obviously, and you got the instant pin.
Yeah.
You can immediately like go right. Let me stab him real quick. So this is why like you see a lot of Corrins, they'll do like back air and immediately do that rather than dashing away, because the point is it's going, okay, are you going to try and come in after this? And you're basically trying to make it as hard as possible for the opponent to know when they can actually open you up. Does this all make sense so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's probably happening, to answer your original question, what's probably happening...
My path is clear.
I can get them to dash attack. Okay. Dash in neutral. Yeah, see, you're probably like trying to do. You want to be trying to hit them before they get to you.
Yeah.
Like that. Right. What you're probably doing is you're probably jumping too late and you're just getting hit, or you're jumping too close to them and getting hit. Like, it's hard to show because you can't really set the CPU to do it as much as you'd like. But yeah. So that's realistically what's happening is you're basically getting hit before you can get the hitbox out. So if that happens, you need to basically give yourself more space or act a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
And if you're finding that, well, I can't act earlier because my opponent is, my opponent's getting there. I'm in end lag, and then I'm trying to do another thing, and my opponent's getting there first. Then that is a case of making sure you don't mash stuff out in unsafe spots.
Yeah.
And also recognizing your own tools, as in what's going to be able to work at a what's going to be able to work at a closer range than like you're used to. So So like obviously you want to try and use a fast forward air, to start things off, because that's what gets you the most damage. Oh, I forgot to change my cable over. Bear with. It might cut out for a moment, so sorry.
That's fine.
You still here?
Yep, I'm here.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah, no, I've only got one Ethernet port, so I can only have like both my computer or my Switch plugged in at any one time. I can't have both at the same time.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. So I know I've left the training room now, but basically, so if there's a case where the opponent's running in, punishing you, and you're like, I couldn't do anything about, or I was already in lag, I couldn't do anything about that, then that's basically a sign that you've overcommitted and they've successfully with punished you. But if you were able to act and you just got hit on the startup, then you might want to start telling yourself to use other moves in those positions. So like using a down tilt, for example, that's really good for hitting people running in. And the best thing is that if they DI, if they're running in, they're going to DI in, which means you get an easy up there.
That's true.
So we'll run some games. For at least half an hour or so. And if I spot anything in particular, I'll basically stop and then we'll talk about it.
I know.
Go on.
I noticed one other thing that kind of links.
Yeah.
So when I do try to like space, I don't move back as much. That needs to improve. But sometimes I'll actually hit the move, but then because I'm expecting not to hit the move, I'll then play defensive and just throw away what I just gained.
Okay. So that's normal. That's a thing we call hit confirming. And that comes with time, basically.
Okay.
What is sometimes useful in those situations, not always, but, so if you say like hit a landing aerial, right?
Yeah.
Or a down tilt or something. What you can do, and we'll hop back in the training room real quick just to show you what I mean. Because I do it with Ike all the time.
Because it happened a lot last night against Fan. I'd hit a move and then just not do anything after because I was expecting to get hit myself.
Before this gets started, I'm going to need to turn the dummy off.
My path is clear.
Turn mash and neutral off as well. Right, so when you land a move, you mean like you'll hit them and then you'll like shield immediately, right?
Yeah, or I'll down tilt or something.
Yeah. So it's helpful, ideally. The ideal thing is to just be ready when the move hits. When you throw out a move with the intent of hitting them, you want to, during almost the startup frame of the move, you want to be basically thinking, is this likely to hit them?
Yeah.
Because if it's likely to hit them, then you need to be ready for that to follow up off of that. And you basically, you react to this bit. Obviously, the game freezes a little bit in this state. Not for very long. It's not feasible to react to it just off that. But you basically want to see that and go, oh, I've hit them. And not immediately press a button afterwards. Because if you press a button immediately afterwards, so if you're like doing this, too late, as you have pointed out. You want to almost wait a second. So like I could shield immediately afterwards. Or you can wait a little bit and basically wait until you see it confirm or not. It comes with time. A lot of people don't mention this, but reaction times do actually vary based on. They do actually vary based on how much you're expecting it to happen. So, reaction times reacting to something that happens that you just weren't ready for is actually around half a second long.
Oh, damn.
But reacting to something that you're ready for, or a stimuli that you know is coming. So, like when someone says, "Oh, I'm gonna," or someone says, "Think fast," and then they throw something at you. Your reaction times are way faster because you're already prepared for it.
Yeah.
You're not having to do the bit where you really identify what's being recognized, if that makes sense. I don't know if that made any sense at all. That was a bit of a waffle. Your brain,
it made sense.
You're basically about 0.3 seconds of your reaction time is your brain identifying what it's seeing and figuring out what it is, so it can then tell the rest of your body to then act accordingly. If you already know what you're expecting to see, your brain doesn't have to do that bit at all. So it's then actually your reaction times are around 0.2 seconds.
That's really good.
So that's like that's just like some normal psychology stuff. So 0.2 seconds is, to be fair, that's quite fast. It's more like 0.22 to 0.25. But basically, you've got around 14 to 15 frames to react to what you're seeing.
Yeah.
That is realistically long enough to react to that. So what you can then do is basically you can go, oh, I've hit it, I can follow up.
Yeah.
In normal fighting games, there's a really good way to test it, which is making it so the opponent randomly blocks, but you don't really have that in Smash. So what I would recommend, you can do it online, but it is harder online, especially if you've not got the latency mod. I don't know if you have it.
No, I don't.
It's quite a good practice to do it against computers. Get used to hitting your combo starters on computers, like sort of like a level 7, level 8.
Yeah.
Get used to hitting it, and as soon as you hit them, go, right, I can continue the combo. Or if you don't, you go, right, let me put, I can do my next stage of my block string, I guess. A little shortcut you've got as well is you can jump out of shields at any time, right?
Yeah.
So you can kind of make it easier for yourself in a lot of ways. If you hit a move, so we'll say we're going to hit down tilt, right? You can say hit down tilt and then hold shield.
Yeah.
And you can basically, if you don't hit them, or if they block it, you could just immediately go into shield. But if you do hit them, it doesn't matter that you've held shield, you can jump out of the shield immediately.
Yeah.
So if you actually go and watch some of my games, you'll notice that I'll hit them with the neutral air, my shield comes up for very briefly, and then I jump out of shield and hit them. Because that's lagless. So it kind of covers both options, right?
Yeah.
So what you can do is you can basically go for down tilt and then shield and jump. So you can then do like, I know it's tighter window with Corin, but
yeah. I see.
You get what I mean. You can kind of use it as a trick, because especially as most of your follow-ups come out of the jump, so you can then kind of go. It's too high percent. Oh, wrong way. But you can then be like, then you can wait for them. Like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that seems much better, because I'd either just shield and miss, or just try to jump and miss.
You've got bags of time to do this as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into some games. Oh my god, I'm getting so many messages at the moment. If you want to then make an arena, because I've got music mod pack on, which means you won't be able to hear the music. So if you want to make an arena and send it my way, and then we'll play some games.
Yeah.
And obviously, as I mentioned when we last spoke as well,
Mhm.
I'm most likely going to go overtime on the lesson because I always do.
Mhm.
Because I feel bad if I cut it dead on. But we'll try and aim to stop at 9. And then what we'll do is we'll just sort of have like a final discussion just to make sure we're all okay with what we got from there.
Yeah, sounds good. There we go. It should be sent. I believe that's the top one I thought.
Yep.
Alright.
Oh, smell.
Step into the
There we
ring.
go. Cool, so we'll run some games as normal and we'll figure it. We'll see what we're seeing basically.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna stop streaming that because you don't need to see that. I don't take the internet. Obviously play seriously.
Mhm.
But do try and apply the things that you've been trying as well. Don't suddenly throw it out the window.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, whenever you're ready then.
Here we go.
And I'll try, when we're playing, I'll try and point out if I see anything particularly good or particularly... If there's anything that's bad, I won't say immediately. I'll wait until I see it happen a couple of times before I then mention it, because I don't want to try and overflow you with stuff.
Okay. Oh.
Tried to do something, tried to cook a little bit too hard there.
I thought it was gonna land on platform.
Yeah, Corin's not got a long air dodge, obviously.
Yeah, letting that one the harder. Believe what?
Yeah, it's fine. That was just me trying to call out another option. Wasn't anything explicitly wrong with that.
Rip.
That was just cheesy. I was like, oh dear, he's gotten caught by the nail. And I fight for my friends.
Yeah, I forgot it hits under the back.
Yeah, that's fine. It's bloody huge. There'll be times where you get hit by stuff and you've not necessarily actually done anything wrong.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry too much about losing too much, because I'll spot if there's anything in particular that needs work.
Yeah. I noticed one thing, I think.
Yeah. We'll give it at least 3 games before we kind of touch back on it.
Anyway.
Go!
Forgot to press the B button.
No, I'm dead.
Rip.
Oh man, I'm getting bodied this game.
But not mid down tilt before.
Yeah, down tilt's very good at catching the ledge. Doing a really good job of not letting me get my game plan started as well.
That's good.
Yeah. Nice.
Yay.
No, that was good. That was good. Obviously, the really early second stocks didn't help, but you were doing a really good job there of kind of, for lack of a better term, mashing and basically not letting me get in, which is kind of what you want to do with Corrin quite a lot of the time.
Yeah. I finally hit a like a tech setup I learned that I've been struggling to hit.
Oh, at the Dragon Fang shot.
Yeah, on the platform.
Yeah.
Because everyone either, like, I don't know, I just think I miss it.
It's one of the ones where, again, it's like the same as a hit confirm. You've got to be ready for that situation to be a thing in the first place. I'm terrible at it. Like I'm
Yeah.
so bad at recognizing when someone needs to tech.
Same.
Because especially with because I've got things that cover every option, so I should be really good at it, but I'm just not. Oh. My time is all over the place.
I wish that move shield broke more.
I mean, it does if my shield's being hit at all.
Mm.
Nice.
Yeah, that was part of
Bad
it.
downer. That was a really bad downer.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay. Oh. Oh, okay.
Hard at spacing that. Oh.
Okay, well,
Forgot the range.
that was what I was expecting. But okay.
Forgot the range for a sec.
We'll do another one because I think I've seen a few things and we'll address them in a sec. But I
Yeah.
want to see if it's actually as if it's actually what I think it is, basically.
I've noticed one big thing.
What's that?
That's like when I'm up in the air, I'm really slow descending, or I use my double jump instantly.
Okay.
Also, that air dodge down meant to be out.
Right. Yeah. No worries.
Yeah, I air dodge down a lot too. I'm just really bad at getting down.
I'll talk to you about that in a sec. Oh fuck! That was in stun for way longer than I was expecting to be.
I love using that move while running away because it's so safe.
Yeah.
But
Damn, didn't get hit by the gimmick. Too far away. Too busy committing to another option.
oh god, that's not bad at all. That's strong.
Yeah. Very strong backer.
Oh crap. What I think for a sec.
Yeah, same. Are you in the wrong way?
Oh, for
Yeah.
God's sake.
Yeah. You directional air dodge all the time.
Do I?
All the time.
Mm.
And it just so happens Ike's terrible at dealing with it. But you do it all the time. Every time you're above me, you'll fall into, you'll burn all your resources, you'll fall into me, and then you'll air dodge in. So I'm going to show you what you should be doing in that situation. And there's a thing that I don't think you do that I'm going to try and show you how to do.
I did notice like her air dodging in. I was like, why am I doing that?
Yeah, but it's the directional air dodge either way because it's laggy. So it's not an option that you should never use, but it's something you should use scarcely, not all the time. So there's a thing called the fast fall and air dodge, which is basically when you're up here, you fast fall and then air dodge. Because what you're doing is you're falling like this, right? Bear in mind, Ike's quite a fast faller. Corin is not. You can then fast fall and then press air dodge.
Oh, that is very fun.
So what you want to do, because obviously I'm having to like manually go up here, but if you can then, if you like fast fall down, and then you notice if you hold shield after landing, there's nearly no lag.
That's. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah. So a neutral air dodge will always carry the same momentum, even including fast falls.
Oh, that's cool.
This of course is limited in the way that you can only fall one way. You can only fall in one direction. You can't change your momentum during it. Well, not too much anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cause when I'm in disadvantage, I fall really slow and then I panic. Then that's when the air dodge comes out.
Yeah, because if you directional air dodge, even if you're fast falling, so like you start falling regular speed again.
Yeah.
So it's really bad for that because it makes you a lot easier to chase down for a lot of the cast.
Oh yeah, I think.
So something that you also do is that if you're getting hit, you'll like almost try and brute force your way back on the stage. So if you're up here, this is like a bad spot to be in, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go over how I think you should look at stage control as a thing, because I don't know if you entirely look at that much.
Not massively.
As far as I'm guessing that as far as you know, that stage control is about whoever's got the most stage in their control, like quite literally. So if I'm in the corner here and you're in mid stage, you've got stage control. If I'm here and you're where you stood, I've got stage control, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is ideal to look at stage control as is that this spot right in the middle of the stage is the middle. Whoever is closest to this point is winning stage control.
Yeah.
Right? Not always entirely true. Obviously, you've got some characters that want to be over here throwing a million projectiles at you. But for the most part, whoever is stood nearest this middle point is doing the best. That includes over here. That includes up here. That includes up here. Includes over here. Whoever's closest to the middle of the stage is doing best.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, if you're being joggled around up at the top here, the place that any good player is going to be defending is anywhere between you and the middle of the stage here. So for example, if you go up there, I am going to be stood around here because that's right in between you and the middle of the stage. I would rather let you have this bit and still not have stage control than I would let you try and challenge over here and let you get back to the middle.
That makes sense.
Any good player is going to be basically defending that. Do you play any sports or like watch any sports?
Not massively.
No, okay, never mind. I usually use football as an example. Do you watch enough football to know what goes on in that game, basically?
I went to a match on Monday, so maybe.
Okay, that's close enough. So you know, on the pitch, whoever's got the ball is obviously the person doing best at that point in time, but it's also about where they are on the field. When the ball's being passed around amongst the defenders, nothing's happening. That is functionally neutral. That's functionally the mid-range where nothing is happening. When they start pushing into the other half, that is when you're in this position. That is when they're pressuring, and it's like the defenders are then basically got to try and fight to stop this position from happening. But good attackers will not give away the ball if they won't just always go for the attack and hope that that's going to work best. If they make the approach, they if they get near the box and they look at it and it's like, there's nothing on here, there's no way I can score from here. They'll back up. They'll back up a little bit. They'll pass the ball back to the midfield. They'll sort of keep the ball a little bit longer, and then they'll try again. And that's what a good neutral is as well. They'll I'll position myself here. I won't even if you're shielding, I probably won't come in and dash grab you.
Yeah.
Because you might get past me, and then I'm in a bad spot. Then I've lost the ball, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
So that's how you want to be looking at things. This is all working back around to when you're trying to come down from above. Because if you're up here, if you're trying to recover, you're up here in the air. You might have your jump, you might have your air dodge. You've got some options. Obviously, you've got a counter, you've got a down air that falls quite fast and changes your trajectory. So you've got options. But me as a player, I am going to be positioning myself so that if you get down, if you try and land right in the middle, if you try and land on top of me, I'm going to be ready and I'm going to hit you.
Yeah.
And you keep trying to land on top of me, and land and try and come back onto the stage. So what you need to do when you're in disadvantage is take your losses, accept, okay, I've failed neutral, I've gotten hit, let me back away, let me back over here, because it's far harder for me as an attacker, and it goes for basically anyone, it's far harder for me to try and challenge you fading over here and then going to the ledge than it is for you to land on me.
That's true.
Because obviously I've got all of this. I can hit you with this all day if you try and hit above me. And this kills. And you'll notice that there's a very good reason why most characters down airs are shit, and most characters up airs are really good.
Yeah.
You look across the cast, there's very few characters with a down air that's good and up airs or an up air that's worse than their down air. Because it's literally in the game design to make us whoever's in the air is in a bad spot.
Yeah.
So you want to try and avoid that entirely, go over here, and if I want to challenge you trying to recover to the ledge, I have to actually commit to an option. This is not a commitment. There's nothing. I'm not committing to anything here. This is a commitment, because then I've got to jump back to the stage.
Yeah.
So what you should do is when you're in a bad spot, if you're being juggled, try and fade away. Drift away from your opponent. You don't want to be anywhere above them directly, because everyone's going to have a better option for hitting above them than you are for hitting below. You're going to have for hitting below you.
Yeah.
There will be some times where you can look at it and go, oh, they're overcommitting. I can sneak back and basically recover high and go over their head or something. And then, but yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were going to say something there and I cut it off.
I was going to say the football analogy makes sense too.
Yeah.
Because many times I'll be in advanced, I'll have the stage control, and I'll try to grab someone when they're shielding at ledge, and then they'll just jump over and back air kill me.
Yeah. Yeah, so you have to be careful when you're in that position, because it's again, a goal is a stock, if we're using the analogy still, right?
Yeah.
If you're committing to that, you're basically going, right, I'm about to shoot for the target. I'm about to try and completely win this situation. I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to try and throw them off stage or something. In those situations, if they're ready for it, then you've shot and you've either missed the goal or the goalie saved it or a defender's tackled you or something, and now they've got the ball and now you're in a bad spot.
Yeah.
So yeah. Like I said, football with pliers, bro. I used to piss my dad off so much by watching football with him, and being able to tell where the ball was going before he did.
Mm.
Anyway,
Yeah,
yeah.
because while you were talking, I was imagining on Monday, and yeah, it makes sense like visualizing it.
Yeah. If you, I'll be honest with you, if you think about football in that way,
Hmm.
it actually makes it quite fun to watch.
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
Because everyone around me was like swearing, like, score a fucking goal," and I was
Yeah.
like,
A lot of people have no fucking clue what's going on, but if you can look at it as like,
Yeah.
if you look at the pitch as like a stage, it makes everything just makes sense.
Yeah, that makes tons more sense now because I never really think about stage control at all.
Yeah. So obviously stage control is important to keep, but it's also important to know how to try and claw it back. Because what will happen
Yeah.
with what you'll notice again watching football a lot of the time, the defenders will rarely actually like properly tackle.
Hmm.
They'll often basically almost like guide the attacker into a position where they can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
And that's the same as like kind of like pushing the opponent back in, like basically making them go, respect me, give me some space, and then once they've given you some space, I'm gonna go, okay, well I'm gonna move in and take a little bit of that space, and they go a little bit further back, and then suddenly you're back in neutral.
Yeah.
Getting out of disadvantage is not a case of this is the option, this was the correct option, and now I'm out of disadvantage. They've missed, so now I'm free. So it's like it's a game of little victories where you just kind of go, okay, they've not hit me here, I've got back to the ledge. They've not hit me off the ledge, I've gotten back on stage. They haven't hit me at the edge, I've got back into the middle, we're back. If you think about it as like stages, so you've got being juggled, or like being juggled or off stage, the ledge, on stage, neutral.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Right, anyway. We'll play a few more games, and we'll see. Obviously, just be wary of that, and try to use the fast fall nair dodge thing.
Yeah.
You will fuck it up at some point. Don't worry about it. Like,
Yeah.
as long as you're trying to do the right thing, that's the important thing to think about.
Yeah.
So like when I'm playing here, like keep playing. I'm just gonna talk. When I'm playing here, I'm aware that you've got similar range to me, but your buttons are faster. So I'm trying to play like a very careful game where I don't get hit by anything that you're trying to get started on, and I can make my approach.
Yeah.
And there was that down with air dodge again.
Yeah. it's
I
a
mean, I
bad
should have got
habit.
more than 14% for that really, but I tried to get an optimal combo. Fucked up. Yeah, that was good. You swung twice and basically made me respect it.
Oh, I can air dodge back. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Like I said, just when you get hit, like try not to panic, because like that's how you get hit more if you panic.
Yeah.
Good punish. Right, so I've been hit there. You see, I faded to the edge of the stage. You defended the middle of the stage. Probably didn't even think about it. It probably happened there automatically.
Yeah.
And I went, well, I'm just going to go to the edge and I'll work from there. Same again. I reset into a better position. Now you're off stage. I just wasn't ready for that at all. I thought you were going to land on the platform.
I keep dropping shield at the worst time.
Yeah, it happens.
I'm trying to get used to the air dodge thingy. Okay, there we go.
It's hard to do out of a double jump because you've kind of got to put yourself up there. Try and do it next
Yeah,
time. Try and do it next time next time I put you up in the air. And like, you know, high up in the air. And I'll swing automatically, like without waiting, and we'll just see if you can go through it.
Yeah, it's hard trying not to air dodge down too.
Yeah, it won't happen automatically. There's no way you'll do something. I'll tell you something, and you'll immediately do it. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work that way. Anyway, let's. Good way. See, I saw you overcommit there, so I got back to neutral.
Yeah. The side B is very good for teaching because it if you don't punish it, then it's just really good for getting back onto the middle.
Good, good. That was exactly the right thing to do.
Alright, I need to...
Gotta keep going. Stop mashing areas.
Yeah, I was trying to do the other.
Right. In those
Easy.
situations, you don't need to press an aerial to get out of hit stun, right? That's another thing I noticed is that you're pressing buttons immediately.
Yeah, I should have gone out to the right.
Yeah, go out to the right and then like because if you press an aerial, then you're in lag. You're basically putting yourself in lag for no reason. So be careful with that.
Yeah.
But I figured you were probably just trying to get out of this, get out of the situation as fast as possible.
Yeah, I was trying to use the air dodge thing, and then I hit A on instinct.
Oh, rip.
3, 2,
Yeah, I need to move out to the right more.
Yeah. But this is the good thing with like a character like Cora. And I do it with Ike a lot, is that if someone's attacking me, I'll be fading back and then I'll see stick a 4 there. Like, look at how much space that covers. Like I'm hitting the platform and I'm over here. Like there's so much space between it that it's going to be very difficult for anyone to try and punish that. Corin's isn't quite as good as mine for that, but you can do that.
That's what I learned playing with Shulk a bit too.
Yeah, Shulk's is really broken for this.
Yeah.
And like I have to press mine a little bit earlier than yours, but you can basically like jump and then hold back and then C-stick forward just as you land. Yeah. Now that's
That's really good.
insanely safe.
Yeah, it looks quite dummy broken.
It looks silly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because when it looks especially slow, or especially weird if you put it in slow mode on training mode, because like you're moving as the arc is happening. So the arc ends up being like a really weird like curve. Right, anyway, let's play. Good challenge. Good roll. Right, so you get into ledge, you go into ledge, good stuff, you're challenging, you're going to ledge, you're trying to get past, I'm going to grab you and throw you back off stage, I'm going to fuck up my combo. Right now I'm in disadvantage, I'm off stage, I'm going to air dodge to ledge. I'm at ledge, going to get up. You get thrown back off stage. Fine, but I didn't die, that's the important thing. And I'm going to get out of disadvantage because you overcommitted.
Yeah. Trying to react to that Nair is one thing I did.
Yeah, it's basically impossible, I can't lie to you. Right, a Burma jump, you should be dead.
That move does not call for anything.
Oh, okay.
That air dodge was not the optimal thing to do there, but I didn't die for it, so...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that was a failed attempt, but you know it worked.
It happens. Right, disadvantage, I'm gonna go over your head. Right, you kind of forced me to go to ledge, I'm back at ledge.
Yeah.
Was that a neutral air dodge, or was that like an actual just bad habit coming back?
That was a bad habit coming
Okay.
back. I was trying to like get away, and then the dash attack caused it.
Oh, hang on, we'll pause right there. When we're learning, don't feel like you need to justify what you've done to me. Because it's not about, like, you know, I'm not like a school teacher. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you should have done this thing. It's not like it's not that deep. Like, I'm not getting paid based on your performance. Like, it doesn't matter to me. You don't have to try and think of an excuse or try and explain your reasoning. As long as you know what you were trying to do. If you can look at it and go, okay, yeah, I fucked up.
Yeah.
And even if you said that to me, I'd be like, it happens. As long as we can. The most important thing is being able to recognize when we make a mistake, and like just go, okay, that was the thing we said not to do. It's okay, and then it will eventually fix itself. There is no way on earth that I'm gonna tell you to do a thing and you're immediately gonna get it.
Yeah.
If you were that good, you wouldn't need my lesson. so don't worry about it. There's no pressure. We're just learning.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Anyway, let's roll.
thought that was a that jump. I'm really not used to that
Yeah,
now.
that's fine. Okay, good stuff. I'm so crap at doing that online.
Oh yeah.
A good fade away though. That was just a timing mix-up. You didn't do anything wrong there.
Yeah.
Good grab. Oh fuck. Trying to do anything at a parry there is impossible. Good stuff. You hold your stage control. Don't let me get back to free.
I'm getting hit by that now way too much.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to avoid. I'm so slow at that. Yeah, okay. You've got positioning. Yes, good stuff.
No,
That
you
was just
don't.
unfortunate. And you're kind of dead here, unless I fuck up.
It's a good mix-up, the neutral B at ledge, I found.
Oh. Yeah, I accidentally tech jumped, and if I tech jump, like, I'm dead.
Oh, that sounds fun. Oh, I just misspaced that badly.
Yeah, I get what you were trying to do. It wasn't actually the wrong idea, but I just. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
It happens.
I didn't want to go too far in case I went off stage of it, but yeah.
No, that's fair enough. Like again, it's one of those ones where, like, you know you were trying to do the right thing. That's the important thing about when you're playing to learn. Like, because whenever I talk to people, we'll get a quick tangent. Whenever I talk to people about playing to learn as opposed to playing to win, a lot of them feel like I mean, oh, it's okay to lose if you're learning.
Yeah.
That it is okay to lose, but I know everyone wants to win anyway, so you still want to be trying to win, but it's telling yourself when you get hit, it's not a, oh shit, I lost neutral. It's a, I knew what I was trying to do. It didn't happen, but I knew my thought process was the right idea.
Yeah.
So
I think I know what would work better in that situation.
yeah.
A back air probably would do the same thing since it's I forgot the word, a disjoint.
Yeah, it would, but then it's like, I don't think it was the wrong decision, is what I mean.
Yeah.
Because you had very little time there anyway. If you wanted the option that was just going to hit me, then immediately doing a counter, doing a ledge jump counter would have been the only thing to like definitely hit me. But
Kind of forgot I had that move.
yeah, you get used to it.
Yeah.
But it's not the end of the world.
I try not to use Corin's counter much
Yeah,
because
because it ain't good. Pretty much every counter is like a once per set kind of deal. Like you use it just once to be like, don't just mash on me for free.
Yeah.
I don't need to
It's
because
just-
my count is so bad, and I've got like an up B that does the same thing.
At least just doesn't send upwards. Like mine puts them into a position that helps them from the life.
I don't know. I mean, what have we just said about being above people?
Oh yeah, good point. The thing is, it'd be good if it didn't have so much end lag.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the down tilt.
Yeah, that's just me. So like, if you know I'm gonna do that, then, or if I catch you basically waiting a ledge too long, I'll just do that.
Yeah.
See, I overcommitted now, so.
Okay.
You tried. That's the important thing, remember.
Yeah. Right. That was not a fast one.
There's that fast full nair dodge. I intentionally tried to land on the stage to show you it.
I like using Corin's side B on these platforms because even if I overextend, I can just kind of kick back the stage as well.
Yeah. That was a risky parry.
Yeah. You like jumping. Hey, just stop shielding when you're running towards me, I'm noticing.
Yeah, it's hard because like shielding. I mean, in theory, like we'll touch on something after this game actually that I think will help you a lot, but it will take you a long time to think about. So it's something I want you to go away thinking about.
Yeah.
Aggressive punish.
Oh yeah, that was just... Oh, I live.
That's just out of range.
The shield again.
Yeah.
That would have been spicy if you didn't hit.
Let's go, jab kill.
Well.
Right. So we'll play one more. Play one more.
Hey.
And then we'll call it in terms of this bit because it is a 1 hour session, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll call it after this one, and then we'll just go over a few things. But something that you definitely want to think about is your opponent's win conditions and your own win conditions as well.
Yeah.
That obviously being how they're going to take stocks off of you and what situations you've got to be wary of, and likewise how you're going to take stocks off them. I think you do that bit fine. I'm not entirely sure you pay as much attention to your opponent.
Yeah, not really.
Anyway, let's run it one last game, and then we'll draw up like a little list of things for you to think about.
Yeah. That works.
That was brilliant.
I wasn't sure I was gonna make it, but I was like, if I can kill you at 0, this is
I
definitely.
mean, it was fundamentally the correct play there.
I'm really bad at punishing, isn't it?
Oh dear, that was a miss input. Oh, I'm dead again. So no. Well, that was a mess.
Yeah.
That was a good edge guard though.
For some reason, I thought you might live it with the up B, and then I died for it. That's just character knowledge thing.
Yeah.
But I need to stop getting hit by these now. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was just an. Well, that was a really weird last game. But I feel like I feel like it made sense. I'm happy to play another one if you are, because that was a really shocking for like final game.
Yeah, I'm happy to.
Yeah,
I had 2 good stocks, but then
Yeah.
3 went away.
Yeah, it's all good.
Mm.
Yeah, no, because I've been looking at it, and you've been getting hit by a lot of nairs at kill percents when realistically you should be kind of playing in a way that goes, okay, I can die to nair here. Let me specifically play around this. But we'll just play this game like dead serious, and then we'll talk afterwards. That was just a set play. You couldn't do anything about that. You were dying no matter what.
It's just the fact the forward there hit me behind you.
Yeah, it's a big hitbox. Good stuff. So you probably died to... Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say, try to avoid it, and then you got hit by one.
I seem to be doing fine. It's that nair, but. Oh my god, that range.
Damn, I really can't punish that, huh?
Mhm.
Grab.
Super armor.
Fighting out of the corner.
I had the bait at least.
Yeah. So. Oh, you're very nice. Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, fair enough. I kept trying to hit you with that, and realistically, I shouldn't be doing that, but I like hitting.
I was wondering what that does.
The idea is for the sword to hit you on the way up, but realistically, I should just be hanging on legend and dropping and countering as soon as you do the recovery.
Yeah.
Right, so we'll cover like one last thing that I think you need to like look at, and then we'll call it a day.
Okay.
So obviously, you know how to secure kills with your character. You know like when stuff's gonna kill and how to look for it. But you need to be ready for what your opponent's going to be doing as well. It's admittedly hard when your main practice partner is a Kazuya, because everything's going to fucking kill. But a good example would be playing against Cloud, right? Cloud is not specifically a character that can kill easily, but he has got ways of doing it. And you just sort of sit there and think, what are the main tools that my opponent's going to use to secure a stock? Because it doesn't matter if you lose neutral more. You can lose neutral 10 times more than your opponent does, but as long as you kill them first, that's all that actually matters. It's like you see games of football, right? There was one in the World Cup. I'm gonna use this analogy every time. There was a game in the World Cup where I think it was Senegal beat Brazil or something like that. No, it was Morocco. Morocco beat Brazil. But out of the possession of the ball, Morocco only had the ball about 30% of the time. The other 70% Brazil had it. But Morocco actually managed to score the goals. So the important thing is, in that regard, is that you can keep losing neutral, you can have no stage control for most of the game, but as long as you take the 3 stocks first, that's all that actually matters. Doesn't matter how you get the stocks. Doesn't matter how long you doesn't matter how cheesy it is. As long as you get the stocks, that's what matters. So, with that in mind, you need to be wary of what your opponent can do to kill you. Because if you're dying, like, if I'm getting you to 85% and just going, right, it's time to spam there, because they'll get hit eventually. And if you play to avoid that nair, then, like, it's very difficult for me to hit you. Like I have to then basically gamble on like a back air out of disadvantage, or a back air upper out of disadvantage, hitting you with a raw dash attack or a raw up B. And if it really gets dire, I can eventually kill you with down throw at like near 200.
Damn.
But like that's one of those ones where I'm like, if I've had to kill you with that, then I've failed. But if you've lived to like 200% versus like that's an extra 100% worth of interaction you've been able to have with me that you wouldn't normally. So that's like almost as that's like really important. So obviously you know how to secure kills, but look at a really good way to look at matchups is to look at a character and go, how are they going to kill me? How am I going to avoid that? So Cloud, for example, Cloud's main ways of killing, you know, eventually whittling, you know, a back air or F tilt at ledge, an up smash when you hit their shield, like an instant burst option in terms of a dash attack, or a limit move. So when a Cloud gets limit, you play a way more defensive and, you know, less proactive game plan. You're basically playing to not get hit by the limit cross slash at that point, right? You probably do that already, but you're probably not necessarily thinking about doing that. Again, when you're at kill percentage, you'll probably be a little bit more careful about hitting their shield. Like you wouldn't like charge into them with a side B when you're at kill percent, and they're not.
Yeah.
Because then that's a free up smash for them. You'll be wary about jumping around in the mid range when they could potentially dash attack you. Not to say to play scared, but it's to at least play in a way that kind of tweaks it and just makes it really hard for them to call something or to do the option, basically, right?
Yeah, because that's one thing I noticed is when I'm fighting Cloud and I've got limit, I kind of know to play more safe. So that I adapt to that. But I noticed that because I wasn't sure what I was doing, I just kind of stood still a lot of the time. I was like, how on earth do I deal with this?
Yeah.
And then obviously I got hit for that.
Yeah, I mean the answer is you were actually doing it and you probably didn't realise because you were kind of just doing the normal Corrin game plan, but you hit me first, basically. The thing you were saying that you were struggling with versus other people, Ike's one of the characters with worse frame data and more range than you. So so the shoe is on the other foot, basically. You're doing the other thing to me.
Yeah.
But you were doing it a fair bit, and it was just kind of because I was jumping too close, basically. That's my own bad habit. I jump way too close to the opponent all of the time.
I feel you.
But yeah, so I think you know there's quite a lot to take away from this. So I wouldn't be too worried if it ends up overwhelming you for a little bit, and if for a couple of weeks you end up not playing so great. But in the long run, you should end up a much better player. So
yeah.
So if you've gone, sorry.
I was gonna say one thing that I was struggling with the whole like getting down situation.
Yeah.
So when you up threw me,
yeah,
I immediately double jumped because I was scared of an up air.
Yeah.
So in that situation, like, what would you do? Because if you don't jump, you might get hit by an up air, and I might just not know yet. But can you like do the fast fall, neutral air dodge like right after getting up thrown?
No, so you can only fast fall. You can only fast fall. First of all, when you're out of tumble.
Yeah.
And so this is why it's not easy to like get down from above.
Yeah.
And when you're falling. So if you obviously you can't fast fall on the way up because that'll be broken.
Yeah.
But like so you can basically fast fall as soon as you're at a tumble. And yeah, so when you're actually falling and when you're not in tumble, that's the rules. You can fast fall during an aerial, obviously. It's all that sort of thing. So, in terms of dealing with like being scared when I've up thrown you, that's kind of the point. That's me basically going because if I land a grab, I've basically got a couple of options. I can either choose to throw you off stage and try to edge guard you, or I can throw you up and try and juggle you because I've got no combos at that point.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much the same thing that Corrin does really when they land a grab. It's like either you throw them, you down throw them and try and juggle, or up throw, but up throw's got hella lag.
Yeah.
You either up throw to try and juggle, or you forward or back throw to throw them off stage.
Yeah.
And it's just basically me putting you in disadvantage. In those situations, I'm gonna wait and see what you do.
Yeah, because I kept using my double jump and it was working, like that part.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, then I don't have a jump.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically the trade-off. If you pick an option immediately, then you might get out of it. But if you don't, then you're still in the same bad position, but with less tools this time.
Yeah, because that's when I tend to use the down air, because it's really good against characters like Fox and that just like to jump up instantly and try to overextend.
Yeah. So it's
But then it's risky if you miss, obviously.
exactly. So it's just a tough. That's basically just a tough situation, and it's going to be a tough one to deal with. Like
Yeah.
there's not a great deal of interactivity in it. It's basically my mix-up, and you have to deal with it.
Okay.
That happens a lot of the time, but I would say have you got notes or anything there?
Have I got what?
Have you
Sorry.
got any sort of like notes open, like a notes app or a notepad or anything?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll say recommend for you to just keep track of. So teach yourself how to do fast fall nair at a disadvantage. It realistically, when you're first learning how to do it, it's good to actually just spam that move, that option a lot. Not because it's a broken option, but because you can then get used to doing it, and then you can dial it back later on.
Yeah, that's what I did with Instapin.
Yeah, there you go, sorted. So learn how to use that and when it works and such. Number 2 is just pay attention to where you are on disadvantage, or where the stage, where you are in relation to the opponent on the stage.
Yeah.
Because if your opponent's gonna, because it works in different ways as well. So if you're fading off stage and your opponent runs off to try and edge guard you, you might be able to go past them and get stage control back completely for free.
Yeah.
So if you basically pay more attention to where your opponent is on the stage compared to you, and likewise try to fade off to the side rather than landing on top of them for the most part. That's basically those are basically the same 2 points. Be wary of your opponent's win conditions.
Yeah, with the spacing one, I also noticed when you were on ledge and I was like ledge guarding, I kept staying way too close to the ledge that you could get back on for free, basically.
Yeah, so that's a kind of the same sort of thing as what I was saying about their win conditions. It's basically being aware of when your opponent can hit you. So that's kind of the point I mentioned right at the start when you asked about getting hit when you were trying to do stuff.
Yeah.
Be wary of like where your opponent can hit you, and hopefully you can and once you start being more aware of that, it'll be a lot harder for people to get in on you, especially the more aggro characters. Because obviously, like, we use a really easy example of this, Kazuya, right? He wants to hit the Electric Wing God Fist. He wants to either down throw you, if it's at low percentage, he wants to grab you, or he wants to hit the Electric Wing God Fist. So you're specifically looking to not be in a position where that can hit you.
Yeah.
So you think about that with every character. I would say the easiest way to think about your opponent's character, because there's no way you can keep track of everything, right? But the easiest thing for you as you're learning, think of their singular main option, or main 2 if they haven't got a singular main one. So, like Nair, Cloud Back Air, Electric Wing Godfist for Kazuya, Crack Shoot for Terry. I'm trying to think of rattle off all the characters you might deal with. Fox Nair or Dash Attack, because they both kind of come hand in hand.
What would it be for Mithra? Because I really struggled against Mithra.
With Mithra?
Yeah.
The thing with Mithra is she's not got any singular broken options, but all of her options are just really good, so it's very difficult to deal with in that regard. I would say your main one to be wary of is Nair and F-Tilt.
Yeah.
Those are the main ones to be ready for, basically. Yeah. And like with Pirate, it's down air and forward tilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that sort of thing, just kind of keeping a note of this character's going to try and get in with these buttons. This is how they're going to try and kill me. You don't necessarily have to write this down, but if you're the sort of person that does better when you're writing things down, then that's great. I've never really been much of a note taker, so I kind of keep it in my head.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I
that
keep
should be
it in my head.
everything. And of course, if you've got any other questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, we'll call that a day.
Yeah, that all makes sense. It's just making sure to do it in the moment.
Yeah. It will take time, so don't feel disheartened if it doesn't immediately work.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've got any other questions, that's great. If not, all sorted.
Can't think of any right now.
All right then, no worries. Obviously, we're both in the EOE Discord, so you can just ask me a question. I don't mind.
Okay.
All right then. Well, I'll stop the recording now then.